The answer to how I gather evidence in a divorce or a separation is very carefully. And the reason is that sometimes people want to play the gotcha game where they want to, be a little like a spy and try to put a tracking device on a car or use some software programs out there to listen into phone conversations. Right off the bat, don't do that, okay? It's illegal. It may violate federal and or state laws. It may subject you to criminal prosecution, and it may subject you to penalties in a family law type of action or a cause of action. Don't do that. If you have questions about this, about email accounts, social media accounts, shared computers, shared phones, I say systems, but like family plans on your Apple or Droid or whatever y'all use, call us. We have information about it and we'll explain to you, but you got to be really, really, really careful. And these aren't minor little things. This is serious stuff if you violate a federal criminal law. Plus you could be deemed to be actually stalking a person. Now, as to the more, I guess, mundane aspect of things of how do you gather evidence on your behalf, being very careful. I don't mean that in a cautionary way like the first area, but you've got to be exhaustive. You've got to be complete. You've got to be careful to get true and accurate records. And so if we actually use a form that we email you and say, start listing your assets out. We'll oftentimes review that and say, well, we need more information about this. Maybe we need a copy of your 401k plan, or maybe we need proof of bank statements and credit card statements, or pay receipts or tax returns. I mean, lawyers are always asking one another. There's just a litany of different things we ask for, and the lawyers call up and say, I want tax returns for 3 or 5 years or whatever, or I want pay stubs, I want mortgages, I want to know what I will copy the deed of trust, I want to know are there liens on vehicles, and so there's this exhaustive process of getting everything together. We have these binders on these cases where we make copies of everything. We got to make 3 or 4 copies because if these things go to litigation, we need a copy for the lawyers at our firm. We like to give you a copy so you can review it. We have to give the opposing counsel a copy, and we may even have to give a judge a copy. And so there's a lot of collation and cross-referencing. So when the question is asked, how do I gather evidence on my divorce case, it's very carefully, and frankly, it's expensive. That's expensive because there's this copying and making sure things are right, and just even hole punching and putting in the binder and organizing. And then it may involve a forensic accounting, getting an accountant involved to look through everything. As family law attorneys, I mean, we understand the big picture things, but we're certainly not accountants, or at least I'm not. So we oftentimes rely on other professionals, just like if there's an issue regarding who should have custody of the child, we may rely upon clinical psychologists, family counselors, things of that nature. So in the collection of evidence, I normally like to sit down with clients first, explain the big picture of what we're doing and what our goals are. If this is a collaborative process, meaning using collaborative law in North Carolina, it may be a little less formal, still rigorous, but less formal. If this is going to go and be a battle royale, which we don't encourage, but sometimes that does happen. Sometimes you cannot reason with unreasonable people. We may have to get things in triplicate or quadruple and put bait stamps on them and things like that. Give us a ring. I don't want to scare people off on this. There's a process. There's time that's allowed to do this. Sometimes we sign releases or authorize other professionals to gather the materials for you. It kind of depends if you want to do it yourself. Heck, we got a copy machine up here. We'll let you come in the office and do that if it'll help save some money making copies. So give us a ring. Telephone number is 704-342-4357. My name is Bill Powers, and look forward to hearing from you.